Let me tell you something. When you hear about crazy neighbors, you might roll your eyes and laugh, but I'm not kidding when I say mine actually shot me for swimming in my own pool. Yeah, you heard that right. One minute I was just cooling off after a long work day. The next I was dodging bullets because some woman next door decided I was exposing myself to her imaginary audience. I wish this was a joke. It's not. I still limp a bit on rainy days just in case you're wondering how this ends. But let me back up a sec. Buying that house was supposed to be the fresh start, the big win after years of saving, dreaming, scraping by. When my fiancé and I pulled up with our moving truck, it honestly felt like we'd cracked the code. Cute little place, nice neighborhood, and best part, a pool sparkling out back like a private slice of paradise. Sure, the mortgage was steep, but I was too busy feeling lucky to care. That is, until Marlene showed up. Now Marlene didn't waste a second. She was on our lawn before the first box even hit the porch, waving around her old HOA badge like it still meant something, even though the association had fallen apart years ago. "Welcome to the block," she said, tone stiff as drywall. "Just so you know, I'll be watching to make sure everything stays neighborly." It was almost comical if it hadn't set the mood for what was coming. She had two teenagers. She paraded out like reluctant show ponies. Neither said a word, just slouched behind her faces buried in their phones. "My kids love being outdoors," Marlene insisted as they flinched from sunlight like vampires at a bonfire. She lectured us on noise parking and even hinted that the pool was only there because the last owners wanted to inflate the sale price. Whatever right, I just figured, one busybody neighbor I could live with, that. We even joked about her over dinner, thinking she'd chill out once we settled in. But no, every time we went outside, even just to sip coffee on the patio, she'd pop up on her own deck, sunglasses on arms folded, pretending to water her fake ferns. At first, Melanie tried to ignore it, but after a while, she stopped using the pool altogether. I didn't blame her. There's nothing like trying to relax while someone's practically judging the way you hold your iced tea. So one hot summer night after a shift that felt like it would never end, I thought, screw it, I'm taking my pool back. Threw on my old swim trunks, yeah, the athletic kind, but nothing you wouldn't see at a public pool or the damn Olympics, and dove in. It felt like pure freedom, just me and the water, until I heard her voice slicing through the air. "You filthy pervert. Get out of there. You're traumatizing my children." I almost choked on pool water from laughing. "What are you talking about, Marlene? I'm literally wearing trunks," I shouted back. But she was on a roll ranting that I was making her daughter sick, even though both her kids were nowhere to be seen. It was surreal, honestly, like I'd wandered onto the set of a bad sitcom. I tried to reason with her, then got a little sarcastic. "Only way I'm exposing myself is if you rip these trunks off me and haul me out front," and that did it. She got red as a stop sign, threatening to call the cops, and I'll admit I shot her a hand gesture I probably wouldn't use in church. I dove under, figuring worst case I'd explain things to the police and have a story for the next barbecue. Then, out of nowhere, bang. At first my brain couldn't even process it. There's this deafening crack, and then the water around my leg goes hot and red. I come up for air, and there she is, Marlene, standing in my yard, gun in her shaking hands, yelling at me like I was some kind of monster. You ever have a moment where everything slows down and you realize, oh my God, this is real life? That was me. I threw my hands up begging, "Please, Marlene, don't just stop." She's screaming, I'm bleeding, and somewhere in the distance I hear sirens. The world kind of faded to tunnel vision. I just remember thinking, don't pass out, stay conscious. Here's the twist though, while I'm dragging myself out of the pool, blood pouring everywhere. Her husband comes racing across the yard. Turns out they'd been fighting for weeks and he'd finally handed her divorce papers just a few days before. The poor guy just crumpled on the grass staring at his wife like he didn't know who she was anymore. Neighbors spilled out from every direction, some shouting, some calling 911, some just gawking. The police showed up fast, thank God, and tackled Marlene before she could do anything else. Paramedics patched me up, said I was lucky the bullet didn't hit an artery. That's when the reality hit me. I nearly died in my own backyard, not from a heart attack or a freak accident, but from a neighbor with a vendetta and a gun. The aftermath was a circus. Marlene tried to blame everything on me, claimed I was exposing myself, harassing her kids, making the neighborhood unsafe. But her own daughter stood up in court and told the truth. She hadn't even seen me that day, and the only one acting out of line was her mom. The judge threw the book at Marlene, stripped her of custody, her house, her freedom. Her husband got everything, and honestly, he deserved it after what he'd put up with. After that, the neighborhood changed. Folks came by with casseroles, offered to help with yard work, told us they'd all been secretly terrified of Marlene for years. There was this quiet relief, like we'd all survived a tornado together. Melanie and I tried to move on, but I'll be real with you, sometimes I still flinch when I hear a loud bang, and Melanie won't go outside alone if she hears anyone talking on the other side of the fence. I guess the real question is, when does just a bad neighbor become something dangerous? Was justice served, or was it too harsh? Did anyone see this coming, or could something like this happen on your block too? Drop a comment below. Let's hear your take. Ever had a neighbor cross the line? Do you think Marlene got what she deserved, or was this all just a tragedy waiting to happen? Share your stories, your opinions, your own neighborhood nightmares. I'll be reading every single one, and who knows, maybe your story will help someone else survive their own HOA drama.